What's happening? Happy Thursday. Appreciate your patience. There we go. Best contractor in the business. We see you tuned in. Newt, man, what's going on, big homie? I see you killing them rehabs, man, out there in Miami getting it. I see you. I know everybody looking forward to hearing from Uncle Dan talk about them conversions and the burr. Gotta love the burr. Buy, rehab, rent, and refinance. What's going on, big homie? You out there killing me in the miles. I see you. What's up, Faith? How are you? My folks was out Baltimore today checking out some properties. Nah, you not trying, youngin'. You doing your thing. You doing your thing. Jersey's finest in the building. What's going on, young? I see you. How you? Just waiting for the big homie. There you go, Uncle Dan. There you go. Let's get him in here. Everybody, make sure y'all share this. Y'all not want to miss it. There you go, Uncle Dan.
Yo.
Dan, the real estate man. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. How's things going?
I'm good, man. I can't complain, man. Definitely can't complain. Glad to be making it happen during these crazy times, right?
Yeah.
That's what's up. What you working on right now? How the block going on 52nd Street?
The block we almost done.
Okay.
We're actually working on the last building. It's a 5-unit building. It's 4 apartments and 1 retail space. So we just on what we did is I finished up the other units. We placed about 15 tenants.
Okay.
In the other buildings, and we just I just refinanced those buildings, paid off my private money guys who was in that deal. I know that's what we're gonna be talking about. So
Okay.
so we just got the last building there, and right now in West Philly I have about another 80 units in the pipeline.
To 80?
80, yeah.
Like 80.
80, yeah.
Oh, you say it real casual. Like that's real major. That's major.
Yeah, it's all in West Philly too.
Okay. Well, that's definitely good. But I say it's even better that somebody, from the community, from the area is doing it. So like people always say like, oh, gentrification is coming. Like gentrification is coming, but I always say, what are you doing to get your piece or to help, carve your part of the community out as well?
Sure. I mean, I feel like gentrification is kind of one of those. It's kind of like the boogeyman now. Sometimes people say that without really understanding what they're saying.
Okay.
And there is a ton of opportunity. And I tell people, if you're from the community, you you have such a leg up on everybody else. Like there's no guy from Manhattan or from Wall Street that's gonna have an inside scoop like somebody that was born and raised there, right? You know, because people that still live on the block, all the aunties, everybody, that's still living there, cats that still hanging on the corner, like those people. That's your end. It's just unfortunately we generally only look at one source of capital when people think like, oh, I don't have any money. Well, money is only one source of capital, right? Knowing people in the community, that is a source of capital, right? Because you have those inside leads, you have those relationships that they have to pay for, right? So if you know if you have the knowledge of how to use those relationships, you can do really well.
So you said like 3 things right there. I don't know if everybody caught on, but so 1, being from the community, whether you got bad credit, good credit, you got $100 grand in a bank account, but that right there is like your instant cash. So if you can create the relationships and network, you can then decide to wholesale or buy the property yourself.
Yeah. So even before that, right? You have to have the knowledge,
Okay.
because you will see opportunity after opportunity, and it will pass you by if you don't have the knowledge, right? So you won't know that you could wholesale a deal. You won't know that you could JV a deal. You won't know those things if you don't invest and become knowledgeable. That doesn't cost a lot of money, right? Generally speaking, you can learn a lot of this stuff just off of YouTube, right? So again, that's capital. Your greatest source of capital is going to be knowledge. And once you have that knowledge, that opens up the floodgates.
Okay.
But a lot of times, what people tend to focus on is the thing that they don't have, and they tend to focus on not having money. And I understand that, because I don't come from money, right? I'm from Southwest Philly. I come from like a low income, blue collar background. And so you really start to think that nobody has money, or you start to think that you need money for everything. And really, what you need is knowledge, and you need creativity. If you have those things, you will see opportunity everywhere. You can make millions of dollars, like really, and not have a lot of money. But most people want to focus on, well, as soon as I get, then I'm going to do this. And generally that never happens.
So are you, if I'm hearing you correctly, are you saying if I focus or put more energy in the knowledge and learning what the opportunities are, instead of strictly just focus on, like, for instance, one of the guests said, hey, I didn't do anything until I saved 50 grand. So like, do I save the 50 grand, or do I like more so focus on, let me save, but still work on the knowledge? Like, how do you?
Yeah, I'm going to make it even easier for you. I mean, so you could do both. But for the average person, saving $50,000 is not a real thing, right? I mean, it's not something that's going to happen. But if you have the understanding, so if you structure a wholesale deal, right, and you know people are interested in buying in your neighborhood, and you know the people who live in your neighborhood, and you know there's been this blighted property for years, but you understand the value of that property, right? You can make a lot of money, but you have to have the knowledge of, number one, how to identify that opportunity, and then how to structure it so that you can get paid.
Okay.
Right? That just takes knowledge. That doesn't take any money, right? Once you start making money, then you can roll that into some other opportunities that you may need capital for. I mean, having money helps. I'm not going to pretend like having money doesn't help, right? Having money helps. But you don't need money to make money, especially now. If you have the knowledge and you take advantage of the opportunity. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, you touched on a lot. So like, even with, like you said about having the knowledge, and I know you've taken your knowledge to the next level where you're leveraging other people's money. So like, again, you said it lightly, like, oh, we renovated the block. We just renovated these 15 units. We got like 5 left in one commercial space. And like, I feel like for me, that's a lot of pressure, especially holding other people's money. So like, can we talk about, or how much can we dive into the part of like, how do you set it up so that it's not a lot of pressure on yourself, but so that, the investors also win, but then you also win? Because I know for me, when I talk to people about investing with their money, like, and especially our folks, it's like, well, if I give you 10 grand, you're going to give me 20 grand back? No, like, yeah. I didn't say I'm selling drugs. Like I said, I'm investing in real estate. It's a secured investment.
Yeah, I saw this funny posted, but it's true. Like, our folks really, really expect like Coke sort of like returns.
Right, we talked about that, right?
right? So there's not that much money. So let's start from the beginning, right? This is where I always tell people, you gotta start from the beginning. So number one, I am a believer in being educated, and whatever you're trying to do. So if you want to learn, if you want to use other people's money, learn how to use other people's money the correct way. I see people do it wrong all the time, and it's not a problem until it's a problem, right? Meaning you may borrow somebody's money and it's all good. As long as you get their money back to them, it's all good. But the moment you don't get their money back to them and they go to the SEC, or they go to the feds or something like that, and they say, well, how did you find out about Dan Harvey? Oh, I saw a Facebook post. Oh, you did? Because you're not even supposed to be posting about, right. I see people all the time. You're not even supposed to be posting, hey, I need X amount of dollars. I'll give you this amount. Like that is totally illegal. And ignorance of the law does not absolve you, right? So you'll still be just as guilty. So number one, like you have to have respect for the business. I see too many people want to jump right to the end, right? So they may see me on here or see other people posting things. Say, well, I want to do what they do, but you have to understand what I did to get to where I am now, right? And I invested in the education and the knowledge. I bought a program. I flew down to Florida. I studied under this guy. I learned how to do it the right way. Now, your other question is, how do you handle, or how do you make it like less pressure? It's always going to be pressure, right? Because you are dealing with people's money. So you just have to be built for it, period. Like there is no, I'm not going to make it seem like it's not pressure. It's just when you're doing things ethically, when you are concerned about taking care of your investors, you're going to still have that pressure, but it's not like you're out here scamming people. So right. It's not like you're feeling like you're doing anything wrong.
Right. Well, what I would say when I meant pressure is, like, for instance, I know the last deal I just did, like my investors want their money in a fast turnaround time. So like I normally lock them in for 6 to 8 months, but I'm learning, mm-hmm. I feel like, I'm moving at a good pace, but I really don't like to be under that kind of gun. I would prefer a 12-month window or a 24-month window.
Sure. So this is the beautiful thing about private investing, right? You find people who there's a synergy there, right? So they have to fit your needs too. It's not just one way. So the biggest thing I tell people is, a lot of times, and again, I'm going to go back to myself, but I know there's a lot of people that I would say probably feel the same way. When you don't come from money, a lot of times you don't think people have money, or you think people are doing you a favor when they lend you the money. Mm-hmm. I'm going to make this very clear. Everybody watching this, the people lending you money are not doing you a favor. No favor. You have a strategy that puts their money to work. Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of individuals, people who are very intelligent, doctors, lawyers, they're good in their field. They have no idea how to make money outside of what they do. They know how to make income, right? They may make a few $100,000 a year. They may make $1 million a year, but they don't know how to make that money make money.
Right.
So going back to what I said when we first started, right? Don't try to jump to the end. You got to get educated. I mean, too many people that right from the beginning, they want to make $1 million, but they don't know anything, right? And they're guessing their way through the whole process. Learn the business. Take your time. Real estate is not going anywhere. Learn the business. Now, once you learn the business, you now have for their money to make money. You have an avenue to put their money to work, right? And what happens is as soon as you make their money, they're going to tell you about it. They're going to be like, oh, I found this guy, Anthony Lee, and he put my money into this real estate deal, and I made X amount of dollars. So once you execute, the execution is a big part of the game. Everybody wants to get the money, but you got to execute. So once you execute, it becomes a lot easier. But
Okay.
the people investing, the people who lend you money are not doing you a favor. You have a skill set to make their money make money that they otherwise do not have. So you have to start to change the way that we think about this. And I understand, and again, I'm talking about myself. I thought people who gave me money for, I thought, oh man, thank you. I thought they were doing me this big favor. And I'm not saying I appreciate all my investors, right? I'm not saying that I don't, but what I'm saying is I also understand my position. My position is I'm the guy who can make your money more money, right? And so once you have that sort of swag about yourself, you will find yourself attracting more money. You don't have to seem desperate about it. People will want to
work with you.
Somebody said a voice coming through muffled. Is that me?
It's on your end. It's fading in and out a little bit.
All right, I'm gonna bring it closer. I don't have my earphones on me.
Okay, well that's good right there. Like literally, that's good.
Okay.
So, but even with that, like you said, just setting up the track record. So, like, should I do my first? For people listening, should you do your first deal with other people's money, or should you, use your money to get started and, like you said, build that relationship, build your systems and your support?
Mm-hmm. If you know somebody who is willing to lend you the money, you can do your first deal with somebody else's money. I think the biggest point is not rather you're going to do it with your money or do it with somebody else's money. The biggest point is be educated.
Okay.
Know how to structure the deal. Know what you're doing. Because what you don't want to do is take their money and then mess that money up. Because now you create problems. Now you have this shoddy track record. Right. So what I like to do, especially with people, if it's a first-time investor, I like to give them a softball deal. I mean, a deal where I may even have the money, but I'll still borrow your money, right? I'll do the deal. I'll make a little bit of money, but I get that money right back to you. Boom. I make it real easy. Real easy. So, again, but the biggest thing, get educated, know what you're doing. I guarantee you real estate's not going anywhere. It's been around hundreds, if not thousands of years.
It is still here. Even with COVID, it's still here.
Yeah, it's going to be around after we are long gone. It's a very well understood asset class. So if you want to be in the business, think long term. Don't think short term about the business. Think long term.
Are you doing any classes because I know you did the classes about teaching people how to convert single family homes to multifamily. Do you thinking about ever doing any classes for how to, raise private money?
I'm always thinking about doing these classes, right? Now, whether I actually do them or not is different. So yeah, I mean, it is a thought only because I want to see people do it the right way. So at some point I may do it.
I already know I made the mistake because, you already said like posting on Facebook. So I'm guilty of that. I gotta go back and delete this stuff if it's going to cost me later on. So it's like, I know I'd be interested in definitely, taking that class. And then somebody's asking, do you know when your next class or if you'll do anything virtual in regards to how to convert the single family homes to multifamilies?
Yes, I am. I'm actually working on some online courses now. So you can do it at your own pace. But I may do some smaller classes that are in person, and people can just socially distance.
Right. 4 or 5 people in a room, kind of thing. I got you. 6 feet apart. 6 feet apart.
Yeah, all that good stuff, mask and everything.
So in regards to putting these deals together, I mean, you said you got 80 units getting ready to come available or getting ready to be worked on. Like,
Mhm.
how? I mean, especially in a market like this. I mean, I know I'm curious. Like, how do you find or I mean, you kind of touched on it earlier, networking, but I mean, is there any other sources we could use in order to find these kind of deals?
Find the deals or find the investors?
The deals, the deals.
Yeah. So I'll tell you um, one of the best ways is, using social media to show people what you're doing, right? Always be talking about real estate. So if real estate is the business that you want to get involved with, um, that needs to come up first. Like if you're a nurse, but you really want to be doing real estate full time, somebody asks you what you do real estate. People, people people are interested in real estate. I haven't met a person yet, well, basically, who hasn't said, "Oh, I've thought about doing real estate." Everybody's thought about doing it, but everybody's interested in hearing from the person who has actually done it.
Okay.
And so, you should be showcasing what you're doing. You should be speaking about it, but you have to put yourself. So you brought up, and we talked about this earlier about kind of hanging with people or talking to people about investing who don't have money, right? I'm going to tell you that's probably a waste of your time. Number one, they're going to invest little small amounts of money, and they're going to be the biggest pain in the butt. So I recommend, number one, you don't even play in that lane.
Okay.
You have to be around people or find people who have high net worth, who have capital either in their retirement accounts, in their bank accounts, but they have access to capital. So you think about, well, where does somebody like that hang out? How can I surround myself with people like that? Where would I find somebody like that? And everything outside the box, right? And then when you get into those situations, find a way to bring up real estate, right? I mean, you don't have to be like, there's
The
always a
subtle way.
way.
Wear a shirt, wear a hat.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to tell you, a lot of those places are not those kind of places where you're going to wear that, but it's going to be a place where people are going to be talking about what they do, right? My bad. I guess, yeah, my audio is going in and out. So I would say like charity events. I'm going to tell you a quick story. Can you hear me okay?
We hear you. Yep, loud and clear now.
Yeah. So one of the places a long time ago. So for those who don't know, I used to work for SEPTA. So I am a full-time investor now, but I work for SEPTA. I worked on a railroad for like 18 years. And maybe about 10 years ago, I've been going for SEPTA about 5 years. So about 10 years, about 7 years ago, a buddy of mine's, he had invited me to this event. It was a Damon John event. Damon John is the guy that the guy had started FUBU. He's on Shark Tank. And it was $1,000 a plate event. And at the time, I was making $1,000, right? Like who gonna be here? So so my first response, like a lot of people, was probably like, I don't really want to spend that $1,000, right? But then I got to thinking, I said, well, if they can spend $1,000 a plate, it's probably some people that I want to be around.
Right.
And so I decided to go. And interestingly enough, I got the hookup. I only had to spend $500. and I'm going to tell you, there was absolutely nothing to learn at this. Damon John put on a hype show. You can do it. You're the best. pay me my money, I'm out. Right? There was literally nothing to learn. But in that night, I met a bunch of people, but one person that I really connected with. And I'm going to tell you guys this. I want you guys to listen to this. It's very important. Because I see people network wrong all the time. They go to network events, they run out of all these cards. They don't make any real connection. When I go to network, I know I'm not going to meet everybody in that room, but I really want to make a genuine connection. Like I want to meet somebody who I'm like, yo, like they were pretty cool. This is somebody I can see me maybe doing business with. Let me follow up. So met this one guy, Pedro, and me and then him and I got really cool. And he invited me to this like Black men business organization. They weren't even really business guys. They were like, doctors, lawyers, stuff like that. And in that group, I was the only real estate. It's like, hey, I got these guys that I went to college with, and they're in real estate too. You should meet these guys. So met
Dan,
those guys.
You cut out. Can you hear me, Dan?
Can you? Yeah. Can you?
Can you? Now you back. Now you back.
I'm back. Okay.
I hear you.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, you back now.
Okay. Where did you
move the angle? You said you went to this black men's event.
Yeah. So I was the only real estate guy. And so he said, hey, I got these other buddies I want you to meet. And they're in the same field. You guys may, have some synergy. Met these guys. And again, it was three guys. Out of those guys, one of the guys I just connected with. Those guys, them and like their circle, have invested millions of dollars into my deal. Now that came indirectly from me going to that $1,000 a plate dinner. Now imagine had I took the mindset, I don't want to spend $1,000 for this, right? Yeah, I would have saved $1,000 in what? I would have saved $1,000 7 years ago.
Right.
And so you really have to think about putting yourself in the position to be around people who have the means to invest in your business and not be a pain in the ass about it.
I got you. Yeah. So, and that's one of the things I know. Like I said, I know the few people I have done it with is like, man, we need bigger money. We need bigger returns. I'm like, where else are you getting these returns from? Let alone you're getting your money back with the return in the 6 to 8 month turnaround as it is. Sure. So it's like you said, like I definitely need to work on that mindset. Like, look, you're doing me a favor, but you're not doing me a favor. Like we're in this together.
Yeah, no, they're not doing you a favor. I mean, so it is a mutually beneficial agreement.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's no favors being done here.
I like that, mutually beneficial.
Absolutely. You are a businessman or you're a business, a businesswoman. You are finding the investment for them to turn their money around the same way Wall Street does, the same way a Morgan Stanley, any of those. Right. You're doing
Goldman Sachs, all of them.
Yes. Don't diminish yourself because you're not on Wall Street. You're still turning their money for them, period. And that's the way you should be looking at it.
Okay. And then hold on. So can you talk about these deals that you're doing? Like, I mean, 80 units, coming available. Like, how do you find the time to analyze that those 80 deals are good? Like, do you have any like tips for like people like trying to learn how to like analyze deals and be able to like know like, all right, that's a good deal, that's not a good deal? Like simple formula or just what the format is?
Sure. It's not a formula. I'm going to tell you one of the easiest ways to analyze deals quickly is to pick an area. Okay, so if you become an expert in any area, it's going to take you a very short time to analyze this. So so right now, I'm only investing in West Philadelphia. Period. So I know the rents in West Philadelphia because I have a lot of units in West Philadelphia. I know the value of multifamily in West Philadelphia because I have a lot of multifamilies in West Philadelphia.
Right.
In my analysis time, very, very short. If you're buying in the Northeast and you're buying in South Philly, and sometimes you're buying in Delaware County, you have to now go in and sort of refigure the value every single time that you look at a deal.
Right.
Whereas I know the values. And in most cases, I'm setting the values because I have a lot of units. So if the bank challenges me, I say, listen, like just look at my rent roll. These are actual paying tenants. Like how can you refute that, right? So you don't think this is the value? Here's my last 3-4 appraisal. How can you refute that, right? This is not just Dan Harvey saying this is what it's worth. This is what is actually happening in these neighborhoods, right? And so again, a lot of times I find we are all over the place, all over the place. You know, you're flipping one day, you're buying hold another day, you're wholesaling the other day. You know,
I can't do that and do Herbalife and work for SEPTA all at the same time.
You do what you want. You just not going to do it well.
Right. Now, that's the problem. I heard a quote.
You know?
I heard a quote last week, and the guy said, "The problem is with most people is that you're digging 2 holes or 3 holes at once. You never finish a hole if you dig multiple holes at the same time."
Yes, I believe much more in going deep than going wide. Way more. I'm really good at what I'm good at, right? And if I want to get involved in something else, I'll invest in somebody else. But I can make money at what I'm good at.
Okay.
Right? I can take that money and I can invest in anything else I want to. Right? I don't have to become an expert in that thing too. I'm not saying you can't do multiple things. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is become great at something. Most people never become great at anything because they're constantly hopping around from one thing to the next thing to the next thing and never giving it a chance to really take root.
Okay. Like that. And that's something I had to learn over time. Like you said in the beginning, it's like, oh, I learned how to wholesale. Oh, I learned how to be a realtor. Oh, I learned how to buy houses. Like, which one do I do? I feel like everything's coming at me so fast. But like you said, like once you learn that discipline, like, and now I know for me, I'm fully committed on being the best realtor I can be. And like growing that income from being a realtor will pay for, you know, the real estate portfolio. And then, you know, if I can do my thing, if I can do 2 flips a year, I feel like that's manageable. You know, that's enough money to go with the real estate agent money.
Sure. Like I mean, I'm a big believer in like putting blinders on. Like sometimes it's almost like a horse. You put blinders on them, like you got blinders on. So that way you won't be all over the place, right? Because real estate is such a big industry. And people are constantly coming out with new videos, standing by a Bugatti. About Lambo.
So I've seen that 3 times this week. 3 times this week.
I say this all the time. I say people would probably take me more seriously if I buy a Wraith. If I buy a Wraith, I won't get any more money, but people would take me a lot more serious once I buy a Wraith. They're like, yo, they ain't killing it. No, I've been killing it.
You gotta get the Dan the Real Estate Man chain iced out. That's the other part.
Hey, I got you.
Gotta get your No Limit Soldier on.
Yeah. It's funny. It's kind of sad at the same time. It's like, you know, people sort of need these, and that's how people get tricked a lot of times, right? People get caught up in scams because people make themselves look like they're doing well. Well, we like the idea of
that you look the part.
People looking the part, but that it is all surface level. And I've been in this game long enough to tell you there are some tricksters and scamsters in this game. And they can make it look good all day. And then when once you start to dig through it, you like, man, this person don't know any more than what I know. You know, and I'm paying them for classes, I'm paying them for courses. He ain't done a deal in years. Or, you
Right.
know? So, just, be aware. That's all.
Okay. Well, Dad, look. You said it. You brought it up, and I'm like, I mean, sometimes I gotta log off social media because I'm like, there's a gap in between what they're telling the people, and it's like, but all you just you see the fancy car, you see a house, and it's like, you don't know that's his cousin's house. That's not even his house.
That's on his lease for the day.
Right.
And so, but here's the thing again, and I'm gonna just take it back to the roots. I'm joking, but serious at the same time. Once you're educated, it's harder to fool you. Once you understand business fundamentals, it's harder to fool you. You won't get caught up in the hype, right? It either makes sense or it doesn't make sense. But if you don't have those fundamentals, then you can be easily sort of bought in to people who look like they're doing well, but they're really just sponging off the people who are buying their courses or investing in their businesses. So take the time to become educated. Take the time to learn. Again, real estate is not going anywhere. I guarantee you. Business is not going anywhere. And just don't become a sucker, man, because there is sharks in this business. And I've been doing this long enough. I've seen them come and go. I've warned a bunch of people. There's probably some people here I've warned, like, hey, I see you just responded to that post. Don't do that. Don't deal with that.
Right. Gotcha. Can you, even with the 80 deals you're doing, can you touch on what kind of systems or how do you set up that kind of infrastructure? Because you're only one person. So have you moved on and now you have the virtual assistant? Do you have property management? Let alone just how you keep track of that kind of rent roll?
So you have to delegate and you have to employ people. But I'm going to tell you the biggest thing. The biggest thing is that I think there's two mindsets. There's the working man mindset, right? The working man mindset says, "Oh, I can do that myself." And then there is the business person mindset, which is, what is the best use of my time?
Right.
Right. And so I've learned that I have to spend money so that I can focus on what's actually making me the most money, right? So I used to buy properties from older guys, and they would be like, "Man, you're gonna really hate in the wintertime. You got to come out here and shovel this snow or take leaves from the." And I'm not a disrespectful dude, so that's just not my way. And I would be like, I'd be like, "Oh yeah." But I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm not doing that now. Like if it's snowing outside, guess where I want to be? I want to be at home with family. I want to be sitting on the couch with some hot chocolate, watching a movie. let me pay the snow shoveling guy to go shovel the snow. Let him make some money, right? But there's somebody, "Oh, I'm not, man. I know how to shovel snow." Yeah, but that's not making you any money. Right. At the very least, it may save you a little bit of money, maybe. But really, if you really think about it, what is it really saving you? Because by the time you went out there and shoveled that snow, got all your tools together, put on your clothes, put on your boots, and did all that, I could find one deal that's going to pay for snow shoveling for the next 5 years. So but you have to have that mindset. A lot of us don't have that mindset. We think we're gonna push down the cost, right? I'm gonna push it down. You can only push down cost for so much. right? Because all you're going to have left is maybe crackheads and heroin addicts. Like, if you want to run a business, you have to hire real employees. You have to hire people with skills. You have to pay a real solid, right? But we got to get out of this cheap mindset. And that is what kills us a lot of times. We're just cheap. We don't want to say it, but we're cheap.
Right.
Right?
Well,
go ahead.
I was gonna say one of the things that helped me get out of that, because I started out, I learned from people that were more. So I think I call it the hustler's mentality versus the business mentality. So it's like, oh, I could go in there, I could paint. Like you said, I could cut the grass, I could shovel the snow. But it wasn't until I got older. But now my time is more valuable, but it's also more precious from the standpoint. I really want to spend as much time as I can with my family. So like when I add up that time spent to go get the trash or to do something like that, that was time I could have spent with my little ones, or it's time I could have spent to take my wife on a date. And you can't put a price on that. You can't.
And once it's gone, it's gone. Once that time is gone, it's gone. Right. And I'm not saying when you're starting off, you may have to strap up your boots and get busy. I did that. So I understand that. So I want to be clear about that. There's different levels to the game. So we're talking about moving up the levels, right? When I started off, I did what I had to do, right? I got busy.
The budget was tight, right? You had to make it happen.
Yeah, you had to make it happen. But as money started to come in now, because you have to always be thinking ahead. If you're running a business, you can't be operating where you are. You have to be operating in front of where you are, right? Because you have to be building out. If I see people all the time, I'm going to buy 20 houses, because that's just, that's like the social media thing, right?
80 is the new number. If it ain't 80, you ain't doing it. 80 is the new number, Dan.
It's you have to build, you have to invest in the infrastructure even before you get there, right? And you're right, Jasmine just said that you can't hire too early. That's true, but you do need to be early. Maybe not too early, but you need to be early. So what happens is I hired a full-time person even before I necessarily have full-time work. But as I bought more deals, it filled that space right in. Right. And didn't have to recreate the wheel. I already had that structure in place because I knew that's where I was going. I knew I was buying more property. I knew I was going to have more tenants, right? I knew I was going to have more maintenance calls and stuff like that, right? I hired a maintenance guy because it's like, okay, well, I want to maintain these buildings. I don't want to necessarily have to call somebody every single time.
Be searching around for a new person.
Yeah, let me put them on payroll now. Right? Once I built my construction side out, even though they are technically they are independent contractors, I knew I had to bring them on because I could no longer manage these projects. It was just too many. It was too much, right? And it made more sense for me to have somebody else take care of that day to day. Right. And I can focus on activities that earn me the most money. Managing rehab projects don't make me the most money. Finding deals and finding money right now makes me the most money. So those are the activities that I want to focus on, and let them focus on, and let my team focus on keeping the day-to-day activities running. And that's how you also don't get bogged down in like a lot of minutia, taking phone calls from tenants, going in there. I used to go in Home Depot so much you would have thought I worked there. Like I remember going in there and people would just be like, man, where is this thing? Oh, that's aisle 6 right there. Go everything was. And I remember last year I went into Home Depot and it hit me. I'm like, damn, I haven't been there all year. I was going there for something for my own personal self. For my own, health.
Right.
I'm like, I haven't been in Home Depot in like months.
Right.
And that's sort of the little bit of like freedom that you start to get back. But it
Right.
takes time. You know, it definitely takes time. So I don't want people to sort of think like things happen the
Overnight.
first year. I mean, I'm not saying that it can't. You could be much better at this than I am, and you can get there a lot faster. But you know, if you want to create a business for the long term, a real sustainable business, not a hustle like you were saying, something you can pass on to your children, something that's structured, so you can go on vacation and things still happen. Then you have to invest in processes and you have to invest in people.
Nice. Somebody said I live at Lowe's. It's all right, big homie. That's Lorenzo, you know. But Lorenzo was doing his thing too, though.
But he's doing his stuff.
Yeah,
He's one of the sharpest investors I know.
For a guy that go to Lowe's, he is always clean. Definitely always clean.
He's got suspenders and everything.
Well, I think we good. We got plenty. We got a couple minutes left. So for you, if people want to connect with you, yes, Chris, I'm gonna save it. Chris Weich wants us to save it. It's definitely gonna be saved. It'll be on the page.
Oh, yeah. That's the pull up runner up. I mean, for those who don't know, I'm the pull up king also.
We gonna let you have it today. It's still what you would call it. It's still to be determined. We still waiting for the show.
Mm.
But where can we find for the future events that you're going to be doing? Do you know like where can we stay tuned to keep finding that information? Because I know there's a few people that want to definitely learn about conversions, and then I know I'm super excited to learn about being able to structure the business for the private money.
Sure. So my website is www.dantherealestateman.biz. That's www.dantherealestateman.biz. My Instagram is Dan the Real Estate Man 1. That's Dan the Real Estate Man 1, because Dan the Real Estate Man, I love the password too. And my is Dan the Real Estate Man. So they can follow me on there. I'm always, posting videos, showing some things that I'm doing. And yeah, every once in a while, I have my boot camps. And for those who don't know, I have a group that I started. If you don't mind me talking about it,
do your thing.
It's called BRAG. It's the Black Real Estate Alliance Group. That's BRAG is the Black Real Estate Alliance Group. Started that about 2 years ago or so. And the idea was I wanted to create a community amongst Black investors, just because I felt that we needed that space. And so we have a Facebook group, so you guys can look up BRAG. It's like you got to go like B.R. and it should pop up. We do monthly meetings, so they're virtual now, and they are education based. And we were doing social events too, because I think it's very important that we get to know each other, right? Too many times I see people just jumping into business with people because they seem cool. And so this is an opportunity to get to know people and see if they're the sort of people that you want to do business with. So if you're interested in joining this community, our number one thing is that we are about adding value. This is not the group to join to just, sell your wholesale deals. Anybody here tell you I will take it down.
Wholesale Wednesday.
Wholesale Wednesday, put it up Wednesday. But no, seriously, think about really creating connections with other people. Don't just think about yourself. I'm telling you, in my own business, adding value to other people first has been immensely beneficial. Don't just think about yourself. Think about how you can help somebody else out, and I guarantee you it will have results in your own business and in your life. So don't be selfish.
There you go. I love it. I literally just had that conversation with my cousin this morning. We was talking about how to get in the game. I'm like, don't worry about all that other stuff. Just figure out if you around these people, what can you do? And I'm telling you, they'll help you back.
Isn't that real? I tell people, man, because the first thing people want to do, like if they see my videos or they see me talking on different podcasts or different whatever, is they want to pick my brain. They want to take me out to lunch. It's like, I can buy my own lunch. I'm good with eating lunch quietly. But I tell you that, and I understand people don't do that because a lot of times we are just unaware. Somebody had to pull my cool. So now what I try to do is pull everybody else's cool. Don't just think about yourself. Think about other people.
Okay. So. Well, definitely appreciate that. And you're all, like I said, that's why we call you Uncle Dan, because you're always willing to get a game,
Yeah, so I also think I'll throw some shots at me too. I ain't that damn old.
Well, it's all in respect, because it's like, like when I was growing up, it's like, oh, that's the old head. Like, we know you out here doing your thing, so that's why we call you Unc, because it's like, like you really be looking out for us young ones trying to come up and get to your level.
Absolutely.
So we definitely say that with respect.
Listen, man, like we got to do that. I mean, I'm from Southwest Philly. I didn't know anybody who was doing real estate. I didn't have anybody that I could reach out to. And when I started in this business, I reached out to some older black guys who like flee me, you know what I mean? And I said, like, if I ever get to a point where I do know something, like, I'm going to reach back out, because we need it the most, because we don't have as many people that are in our community who have this information.
Right.
And so if I'm able to motivate just one person in my life, if that's my legacy, that's awesome. That's one person that was able to, step their game up because of something that, I gave them. And that's an awesome legacy for me, but for any of us. Right. If we really want to see our people really raise up, well, we got to, stop the pettiness, it's so much money out here. It would make your head spin, So to be squabbling over a couple of dollars, a house or two, that's nothing. That's a small mindset. It's not even worth even getting involved in. That being said, I'll let you use me out.
Look, don't forget to add value to Dan, because Dan also still needs people to add value to him.
Absolutely.
So we definitely appreciate it. We won't hold you from the family any longer.
Cool.
Definitely appreciate you. Also, don't forget, next week we got another guest. I'll drop that flyer next Thursday. We back at it, the Investment Blueprint Thursdays. But again, thank you again, Dan. We definitely want to salute to you. Wish you well with them 80 units coming up. That's going to be major. Definitely going to be looking forward to seeing those stories and the stuff that's coming up, man.
Good. Thank you, man. Listen, I just want to leave y'all with a quick message. Is that I know it's a ton of negativity out there, but this is possible. It's possible to create financial freedom for yourself. I did it. Came from low income, worked at SEPTA, a blue collar job, changed my mindset, and I created my own future for myself. And I don't say that to brag. I say that just to tell you guys that it's possible. So go out there and get busy. And Anthony, thanks for putting this on for the folks and giving them all this information.
Definitely appreciate it. Thanks, Uncle Dan. Like I said, we'll see y'all next week. Stay tuned, man. Looking forward to keeping connecting with everybody throughout, everything that's going on. So I just appreciate everybody. We always got a nice amount of good people that's tuned in every week. But everybody was hitting me up when they heard you was coming back. So, we don't have to get you back probably a third time before the year is out.
Yeah, I'll send my bill.
Look, we got you. We got you. We got you. Like I got enough information tonight. I'm ready to look. I'm about to get busy. So
nice.
Thank you, man. Y'all have a good one.
Good night.